afternoon and welcome to the People's Verdict. This is a program brought to you by Camneta TV to discuss various issues pertaining to governance. As usual, we ask the question while you, our dear viewers, make the verdict. And our guest today is coming from the Third Liberation Movement, and he is the president of the political party, Mr. ENOCH TONGA. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much. We appreciate for the opportunity. God bless you. Thank you for the opportunity once again.
We thank you that you've honored the invitation.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Our dear viewers, you too, in case you want to join the conversation, you can do so by going on our Facebook page and leave a message based on our topic of discussion, or in case you want to ask our guest a question. And we will be interacting also via studio. You can call us on the number that is on the screen in case you also wanted to ask the question to our guest. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Soko, and together we'll be with you up to the hour over 18 as we discuss various issues pertaining to national governance and as regard to Zambia being on the right path to economic recovery is the question we are asking our guest today, so that we can get their perspective regarding how they assess Zambia's situation at the moment. Mr. Tonga, to just get started with our conversation, I'll start with my topic today, which I've themed, is Zambia on the right path to economic recovery? I want to get your perspective as a political party.
Once again, we must say thank you very much for the opportunity. Patrick Soko, my dear friend, it's very easy to respond to your question.
Mm-hmm.
Is Zambia on the right path to economic recovery?
Mm-hmm.
The answer is categorical no, in capital letters, underlined. We are...
But why are you saying categorical no, Mr. Tonga?
What is there to talk about?
Mm.
What is there to talk about? The economy of the Republic of Zambia can only recover when you center the people. The economy of a nation, Zambia in particular, can only recover when the people are centered. And these people must be the Zambians,
mm-hmm.
not any other person. Anything outside that, we are going circles. And for us as Third Liberation Movement, we have been putting it very clearly that we must give back the Republic of Zambia to Zambians. To simply mean that Zambians must start running the economy. And you cannot recover your economy, you cannot build your economy when all the economic activities are in foreign hands. And that's very basic, very simple, and nobody can change that perception, because go around. Has Hakainde S. Hichilema ever on one single day pronounced anything progressively towards the people of Zambia? The answer is no. A few days ago, I had a live broadcast where I was itemizing the companies
mm-hmm.
which were sold, which were privatized, taken out from the state-owned or state responsibility, these are enterprises, into private hands. It meant that when Kaunda was building up all those companies across the Republic of Zambia, even beyond her own borders, they wanted to empower the Zambians to run the economy. They must determine their own destiny. They gave them into the private hands. Today, the people of Zambia, and I mean Zambians, are slaves in their own land. We are slaves to Indians. We are slaves to Chinese. We are slaves to Lebanese. We are slaves to all these foreign investors. You cannot recover the economy. You cannot build an economy using a foreigner. We must build our own economy using our own people. Additionally, no nation has ever developed when it is heavily taxed. And that's what is happening. Hakainde S. Hichilema, with his economic so-called activities, he's taxing nearly everybody. You've seen ZESCO, list them down. Additionally, you cannot recover economically when you have got corruption fighting corruption. Simple as all that. Hakainde Hichilema is not fighting corruption. We believe that it is all jokes, playing with people's minds. How do you recover economically when people are still playing around with the resources, the money? They've told you that we have arrested that one, we have arrested this one. Since then, when they've been arresting these individuals, what have they come back, the people of Zambia, to present before their hands? Literally nothing. Additionally, we've got an issue of non-bearable corruption. I've been talking about it over and again, which can resolve the issue of corruption in the Republic of Zambia. Hakainde Hichilema doesn't want even to look at it. This non-bearable corruption, which I, ENOCH TONGA, being the party president of the Liberation Movement, took to Parliament as a petition. It was adopted. To date, it is busy gathering dust in the Speaker's drawers. So in a summary form, my dear brother, will not recover economically. We remain poor, and that will continue.
Interesting. Now, let's, while you were saying there's nothing tangible to point at to economic recovery, I want to bring to your attention the aspect of the International Monetary Fund bailout package, which the UPND administration has been bragging about, or talking about, rather, to say they have secured an IMF deal. This means that Zambia is on the right track towards economic recovery, among other measures. What's your take on the IMF program?
Yes. For the small minds, for the small minds who buy into Hakainde Hichilema's UPND's brags, whatever you want to call them, by accessing those monies. We've many times repeated that you will not develop as a nation by borrowing money. We're not supposed to be borrowing. Hakainde Hichilema is borrowing because he knows that the time that money will be required to be paid back, he will have left the public office. We took a petition to Parliament again to limit the time frame within which you are supposed to borrow. We said if a government gets in, or these individuals, a team of individuals called a political party, forms government, because at the end of the day, when you look at the developments in Africa, Zambia in particular, so-called governments, I think at the end of the day, people, crooks and criminals are hiding behind the name of so-called leaders in politics. And that's where it gets to. So now we say that whoever forms government, let us ensure that they must borrow within their 5-year mandate. What did the parliament do? This parliament of ours, they threw away that particular petition. What am I saying here? The borrowing of whatever figure Hakainde Hichilema got from IMF is basically going to disappear in politicians' pockets, because it's fair to fight corruption. As I've mentioned earlier on, in the midst of corruption, how do you develop a nation? You can't. Hakainde Hichilema needed to stiffen law on corruption, make it non-bearable. From there onwards, then you can say, we'll try and organize the economy of a nation. But as it stands now, even that money, to date, you won't even know where that money will have gone to. So in a summary form, again, if I was to add to the borrowing, we want to give hope. And this is a clear hope that the moment I become the head of state, Zambia will never borrow again. And that must be known very clearly. Because Zambia,
but how are we going to generate the resources, Mr. Tonga?
No, we've got what it takes. Before I can respond to your question, my concern is that we want to go and borrow money. If you've noticed, since Hakainde Hichilema ascended to power, the LGBTQ has been a talk of the day. It has been a topic, although he wants to brush it off. No, this is not an important topic, but it has come on board. It was not being talked about then. Now, our question is, you go and borrow money from IMF. IMF has not told you their position when it comes to these lesbians. They've not told you. And what we have in our hearts is that something is not taught the nation. So therefore, you go and borrow money to an institution that has got no stance or a particular position when it comes to the issue of LGBT, because Zambia remains a Christian nation. So that must be known to the people of Zambia. There's no bragging about the money being borrowed. You cannot go into a jungle where there are lions and you expect to come back not being eaten up or devoured when these lions are very hungry. What are we saying here? Yes, they rushed to IMF and borrowed money. What are the conditions which were given? Zambia is not taught. So, truthfully speaking, as I've mentioned, in the midst of corruption, there is another angle which Zambia, as a Christian nation, where I'm sitting here, this is a platform that is being run by a church, I'm sure, where Jesus Christ is being mentioned. You saw Hakainde Hichilema, he couldn't even appear himself, appear where people were worshiping worshiping Christ Jesus. The name was being mentioned at the what do you call this place here in Osaka? Showgrounds. Yes, showgrounds where we had this 18th of October. All I'm saying here is that Zambians must understand who are we dealing with. What kind of a man is this that is in public office? So coming back to your concern, don't talk about the borrowings. We needed to limit those borrowings. But for us as State Liberation Movement, we form government, there's no borrowing. Because Zambia has got it. We've got copper. We've got gold. Name them. What's so difficult for us to mine what we've got here and process them into finished product and have them sold? As I mentioned earlier on, that we need to make sure that these activities are being run by Zambians. For any information, during the process of moving the state-owned enterprises, that was, I think, 98 down the line, privatization code, we are saying that there are many companies which we know outside in the Republic of Zambia were sold off. But the moment we form government as the Liberation Movement, we are taking back all these companies or these state-owned institutions, be given to the people of Zambia who will run them, because Zambians must run their own economy. So we will recover economically when we give the responsibility, the economic independence in the hands of the people of Zambia. It's very important. The Zambians must open up their eyes and see where we are supposed to go as a nation. Outside that, Bwana, we are slaves now online. It's obvious. You know it. Run around, go anywhere else. Tell me which financial institution is Zambian citizens running, which manufacturing company is Zambian citizen running, which mine is Zambian citizen running. You cannot have a home left to nobody when people visit you and then they sleep in your bedroom and you call yourself a state. No. The purpose of people being public offices, called the president, the minister, name them, is to protect, save people, provide them with food. Are we doing that? The answer is no. Go and check around. There's poverty. People go to bed without food. Hakainde Hichilema is in Egypt, flying all over the world, meeting his friends, drinking cappuccino, amidst poverty. You call that governance? That is jokes. Those are jokes, I should put it. So, my dear brother, with Hakainde Hichilema and the UPN, the failed agenda, it's all circles. I call him a garden variety leader who will not change anything, but continuing impoverishing our fellow Zambian citizens. That's a problem we've got in the Republic of Zambia.
Mr. Tonga, the other argument that has been advanced by this administration is that if you see the kwacha has been performing better compared to other currencies, let's say the South African rand, and when you equate it to the dollar, it has been trading between 15 and 16 kwacha to $1 compared to the past when it was at 20 to 23 kwacha against $1. That has been also said to be as a result of the economic measures the UPND administration has been implementing. And what are you saying about that?
Let me put it this way, so that probably I can help somebody out there. The first thing that you should have in your mind, you the worshipper probably of these so-called leaders in public office, question yourself that where is the relationship of Hakainde Hichilema in his governance system tilting towards? You'll find that it's tilting towards the Americans. The first thing. And then the Americans are the owners of the dollar. These issues they can be artificially manipulated. It's very simple, basic. Go around, you check the prices of essential commodities. You find that the same price at which these commodities were sold at, then maybe 1 year ago, it's the same price at which they are. If there is any reduction, very minimal. So then if the so-called dollar has gone down, had any economic impact, why then haven't the people of Zambia accessing cheaper products? Why haven't the people of Zambia accessed cheaper fuel? It's almost double where the previous regime left it at. So only, as I said, small-minded thinking individuals who praise and worship this thinking of Hakainde Hichilema and his UPND administration, we are doing nothing. So the dollar, I don't buy into so-called dollars come down. These can be done. These are individuals behind this currency called the dollar. Mind you that you must know people are running the economy across the world. Look around the economies. See what happened in UK. For information, when Liz Truss took over the office, what happened? I don't want to go into those details. Now see what has happened when Sunak has taken over the office. What is happening? This is what happens because you must know that there's also what we call economic politics, where people want to play games with the people's minds using the same so-called dollar. And then you think it is Hakainde Hichilema and this administration. There's nothing because people still remain in poverty. People go to bed without food. They cannot have 3 meals in a day. You know what I'm talking about? Basically, it's all about playing games with people's mind. That's why we're saying we are the third liberation movement. And we shall ensure that when we form government, there are no these games playing with people's minds. Me going out of the country, flying with my own children, cannot eat. They go to bed without food. People, you know, they're fighting each other in terms of violence. There are a lot of things going around in the Republic of Zambia. We are here sitting here talking to the public or probably the world because Cabinet Television has seen it fit to give us an opportunity. You are a private institution. What is happening with ZNBC, which is the public-owned institution? What is happening to Times of Zambia, Daily Mail? These are institutions run using taxpayers' money. You've never seen the face of Mr. Tonga on ZNBC. Because Hakainde S. Hichilema wants to run the country the same way the previous regime did, the same way UNIP did, the same way MMD did. And you're saying Zambia can change in anywhere else. We're not going anywhere. The time Zambians or politicians will begin to fear people, then you know that we have been liberated. Hakainde is in his so-called community house. God knows what he's fearing. You know, from his community house to go and move to the heart of the Republic of Zambia, which is the state house here. Probably he's worshipping some shrine there at his house. We don't know what he's doing there. What holds him on to that particular house when the people of Zambia voted for him to go and sit at state house, but arrogantly so, he remains there. And for us, we'll try him when we form government because that is wrong. He is enjoying the security, name it, using the influence that Zambians gave him. He can say, I'm using my own money. No, he's no longer using his own money. Whatever Hakainde does today, he's doing it because he has influence based on what Zambians gave him. So as we form government, we shall investigate on that basis alone and have him arrested. Because we cannot run a country like that. People vote for you. You're supposed to be at state house. You remain in the so-called community house. Come on, my brother. What is that? You are playing games with people of Zambia.
They're saying the state house is not fit for him to, is not habitable for the head of state, and that it needs to be worked on.
Oh, jokes. Those who are living there, they were animals. The human, the Kaunda lived in there. How many presidents have passed through the same building, which has not, is so special? Because Hakainde Hichilema is unique. What is so special about Hakainde Hichilema? We're all human beings, equal before the eyes of God. You've had presidents passing through there. It's an insult before the people of Zambia. It's simple as all that. And that's what must be known. But what I'm happy above all is that you are able to give us this particular platform. And that's very important. Because by doing this, will help somebody out there who cannot understand and see where we're heading to. Patrick Soko. It is not in order, my brother. It is not normal that you have 18 plus million people. They did their so-called census. We had to see whatever will come out from there. Mm-hmm. But out of the 18 million, I'm using the odd figure.
Yes, as of 20.
You've got 15, probably, if anything, 15% of individuals who have got money in the Republic of Zambia. Are they the only wise and brilliant thinking individuals? And when you look back before 1998 to 1991, it wasn't like that. Some Kaunda's ministers have died out of depression because they were not stealing money. Today, from 1998, when the companies were sold, that's why we're seeing now billionaires building on money. They're telling, you know, we had opportunities, we were very intelligent, whatever it is. How intelligent were you? Was Zambia created for 15% individuals? The answer is totally no. We are talking about issues of the junkies across the Republic of Zambia, young ones that are attacking people. At the end of the day, you end up having a gang of criminals, labels, rising against the state. Amidst this situation, that is where Hakainde Hichilema claims to be running the Republic of Zambia fairly, in a good way. No, we are playing games.
In case you are just joining us, you are watching The People's Verdict, and my guest on the program is ENOCH Tonga, the Third Liberation Movement president. Our topic of discussion is Zambia on the right path to economic recovery? That's the question we've been asking our guest. And you too, our dear viewers, you can give us your perspective on the subject at hand. And going on with our discussion, Mr. Tonga, while we are still on economic matters, I also want to pick your perspective on this other topical issue. It has always been topical in the sense that it is a process we continue to talk about every end of the month, towards the end of the month. The issue of the monthly review of fuel pump prices. Is it a sustainable measure, or what? How would you want us to handle this issue? Your perspective on that, because every time it is towards the end of the month, we see the Energy Regulation Board, ERB, coming to announce the revised fuel prices. And sometimes, most of the times, you'd see an increase, a reduction, but most of the times it goes up, it continues to go up most of the times.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love that. Beautiful. I think, in as far as I'm concerned, Patrick Soko, it is only the devil who wants to see the children of God suffer. I will repeat the same statement. The devil is the only person that would want to afflict pain on the children of God. Anything outside that, it is not possible, because God created all of us to live and enjoy life on earth. It's very basic. If you've noticed, the one Hakainde Sichilema remains very arrogant before the society's cries the moment he was declared the winner. Do you want me to talk about the monthly adjustments of pump petrol, pump fuel? The nation has been crying it's very basic. No man akuti amona akuti tefe watonton kanyefi. It's a very simple thing. It is causing pain, havoc. You cannot plan. And what is so difficult for Hakainde Hichilema and his administration to listen to people of Zambia's cries? So they know why they're doing this kind of behavior. Because you cannot have 30 days, fuel it's either adjusted upward, 2 kwacha, or brought down, and then on the transport sector, they pretend nothing has been done. Because that's what they're doing. They would increase the fuel to the pump price, and then those who are using the vehicles, whatever it is, they will not adjust it. Or either reduce it, should I say, when they reduce it, that's when they keep quiet. When they adjust upward, you see that the transport has been adjusted upward. And that's what is happening. Whatever mayo, awe mkushito musalo, ngani mno mulusaka, kulia kumarket, nga wachito musalo pakoti watuwa nomba kunganda, nganuka banana, na wena walalunda pa musalo, mutengo. Then the common man on the ground pays the price. When the fuel has been adjusted either upward or downward, it is a direct hit into the pocket of a poor person. It's as basic as that. Any manufacturing company, these guys who are running the pumps, the transport, all they will do is respond positively. If it's 1 quarter, 2 quarter, they will adjust it upward. Who pays that figure? That's what it simply means. So Hakainde Hichilema is not taxing you, the rich. Is basically, his policy is to tax the poor person using the same fuel monthly review. It is wrong, unacceptable. It must be stopped immediately, because you are killing Zambians. Each day, each month that you adjust that fuel, a Zambian citizen suffers down there. It's very basic and very simple, Bona Patrick Soko. So Hakainde Hichilema, if he can listen and take heed of what we're talking about, the best he can do is do the correct thing. If they don't, well and good. Time is coming. I was mentioning this, that he entered the door. I came through that particular door there. We are talking here. The next thing that remains from me, when the program is over, I expect myself to exit. And that is what Hakainde Hichilema should expect. He entered through this door, or called political platform. Now he's driving the seat. They want to close their ears and their eyes, enjoy their lives. When Zambia is suffering, one day they'll be out of that particular door. And I can assure you that if it's they'll pay the price depending on how they are managing the affairs of the public of Zambia. It's many times that leaders are changed, and if we don't do the correct thing, we will correct the situation to ensure that others can learn a lesson.
In Zambia, we call that, Mr. Tonga, political persecution. Are you targeting that?
Call it political persecution, but look, I'm here, Patrick Soko. Have you ever heard me anywhere in the courts of law? That is why I do not want to buy and comment on whatever is happening with these that are being picked up. Yes, of course, I know that the pursuit has been very slow. In the absence of non-bailable corruption, you have a problem, because you arrest somebody the following morning on bail or bond, they play around with the documents, you have a problem. That's why we're saying we needed the non-bailable corruption. However, when you follow Mr. X There isn't smoke without fire. They should have followed me. They'll tell you, yes, it's political persecution, whatever they want to call it. They are criminals. They have to find a way of how to find sympathy before the public. Sadly, the public also is giving them space. It breaks my heart, my dear brother, that even now you are entertaining people, leaders from the Patriotic Front, giving them 1 hour, 2 hours platform as media. Shocking. They deserve to be blacklisted. What did the UPF administration do? The people of Zambia, other than anguish and poverty and struggling, what Hakainde HM is doing. When these political parties leave public offices with their behavior as conduct, they don't deserve to be in public domain because they are the ones that are misleading the society. People start thinking, no, you understand? So what I'm saying here is this, that there isn't political persecution. They should have followed ERT, and that is myself. They can't, because they know that I'm genuine, truthful, and honest, God-fearing. That's what we are doing. It ends there. So if God gives an opportunity, 1 year, 2 years, you are stinking money, rich, we'll question you. Where do you get this particular money from? Same thing I'm talking about. Hakainde sent us through to presidents. He has amassed so much wealth. He hasn't answered the people of Zambia how he amassed his wealth. He has always been, running away from the question. For us, we'll question him because that time is coming, because he has entered before us. I'm sure you're aware that even the issues of declaring assets still hangs on. And that is very sensitive, because you don't know if somebody is hiding himself or herself not to declare how much she had then or he had then. It means he or she is hiding what is going to add on top of it. What am I saying here? There hasn't been any political persecution. Those individuals that are being followed up, they just have to go there. If they're clean, clear their names. It ends there. But if you've done something that is wrong, as I said earlier on, we want to share the economy, the money, the wealthy, the stones, name it, Mkulatri, that was given to us. It was given to every Zambian citizen. Nobody is unique. And that alone must be done, which all governments, preceding governments, have totally failed. And Hakainde is also failing. I'm not going to fly out of the Republic of Zambia, enjoy myself there, go and attend the so-called summits. You come back without nothing. When my own kids here are suffering, paying the cost of voting for particular individuals, that is wrong. So, Bwana, they are not persecuting anybody else. These people have got issues they're supposed to answer. Once that is clear, they can go and do whatever it's supposed to be done. But the most important thing is that let's do it, if we are to do it, under the non-bearable on corruption. Interesting. Now, let's get your perspective to another national topical issue we cannot avoid to talk about. The Constituency Development Fund, Mr. Tonga, yes. CDF, is one thing which the UPND administration has been pointing out to say it was increased from 1.6 million kwacha per constituency to 25.7 million kwacha. That's in the 2022 national budget, and consequently in the 2023 national budget we saw a further rise to 28.3 million kwacha. I want to get your perspective on how this entire CDF arrangement has been handled so far. It's laughable. It's all political. It's not meant well. It's all political. I don't want to use very strong terms, but it's all political, playing on people's minds. I've mentioned to you that if I can sit here, I'm giving an example, if I can sit on Camry television, and ENOCH Tonga, who is destined, genuine person who wants to save the people of Zambia with a lot of potential, I know what I'm talking about. They are seeing, they're listening. They know, all of them, that gentleman has got potential. Give me the presidents today, you see what happens. The Republic of Zambia. Give it to me. Now, they will not want to, I want to understand the point of CDF. They will not want me to go and sit on ZNBC and talk. Why I'm talking about ZNBC, because it's nationwide, and that's a national television. Understand? We are using taxpayers' money for them to cover everybody. Hakainde sits in public office, he's meeting the so-called media owners to strengthen his grip on power. It's as basic as that. Now, if this face cannot be given platform to sit on a public institution, are you telling me that the 27 plus whatever million can be accessed by somebody who belongs to a different political party? The answer is totally no. You can give it to whoever, maybe members of parliament, blah, blah. But when it is in there, who gets that CDF? I mean, Mandev constituents, I haven't seen even a coin. I'm a leader of a political party. Very simple example. Not even a 50 and go over 27 whatever million. I haven't seen it. Where is it? So these are stories. Last year ended the budget, they've announced another one. Have they told you how much they used that particular money? How they used it? Zero. So stories. So it's another channel through which public resources is being stolen. I mean, it's the not having any bearable corruption, not anything else.
But we've also seen on the same CDF where various members of parliament have been unveiling cooperatives, giving them funds to say, let's say, chicken, poultry industry. Let's say they want to come up with something under fish farming. We've been seeing those activities as well, especially in constituencies around Lusaka. We saw one in Munari. We saw the other one in Kabata constituency. What would you have to say about that?
You're even counting them. You saw one. You can count maybe there are 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe what is that? I'm on the ground. I can give you some of the names in, for example, in public markets where chairmen are complaining with proper projects, the same so-called cooperatives. How many have accessed those monies? Talk about cooperatives of agriculture, for example. People are saying we are 120 of us, but they gave us 4 bags of fertilizer and we are failing to share. That is your government of one again they see them. So you expect that CDF, I'm just giving an example, I'm from Mandevu constituency, I don't see not even a coin of that particular money that they've given out. As I've explained that they will give you a budget and adjust to so much, when the year ends, they'll come back with another figure without giving an account of how much or how that money has been spent. It's as basic as all that. So at the end of the day, that CDF is on paper, that CDF is another political tool to, work on the people. The attitude of politicians, Hakainde and his UPND in particular, has not changed. They've not shifted away from what has been happening all along. So you cannot tell me that that money will have any impact on the Zambian city, the common man on the ground. The answer is totally no. Because they are fighting even us with the potential. What more that one was going to voice down there? Where are they going to run to? Nowhere. It's all stories. Poverty is there. That is the second CDF that is basic, isn't it? Go down there, you're the media. Check. They'll tell you. It's very basic. You cannot cheat an empty stomach. It's as simple as all that. People are going to bed without food. Those projects, who are they giving them? It's who you know, God for us or each one for
when
himself.
You say people are going to bed without food, are you interpreting that President Hakainde Hichilema has not managed to meet his campaign promise to ensure that Zambians eat 3 meals per day, Mr. Tom?
In fact, he's a liar. To be more specific, he's a liar.
Isn't it too early according to them?
No.
Isn't it too early?
Listen to me. Hakainde S. Hichilema is a liar. Liar through to the presidency. And that alone, he must be tried in the courts of law. Simple as all that. Hakainde Hichilema cheated his way through to the presidency. So then I don't need to explain whether he has met his promises or not. The point is that he's a liar. So liars will tell you this and they do the opposite. That's what is there. He is a liar in public office. You cannot have leaders who would not want to look back and say, I think I said A, B, C, D there, I think I was wrong. Can I go back to my people and say, Bane, tefyo ifitwa mwene, tueleleni. Can we be given chance for us to progress? That's how you govern. But because they feel, we are here, 5 years number, they can do whatever they want to do. It's in public domain. You know what it is. How much is fertilizer now? It's 1,000 quarter plus bag of fertilizer, which will produce staple food. He told you 250.
Now that you point out the issue of fertilizer, Mr. Tonga, I want to bring to your attention how you think the Farmer Input Support Program, FISIP, has been handled. This is November, and yesterday we saw, for instance, a traditional leader in Luwingu expressing concern that they haven't been able to get fertilizer. If they are getting others, also like in the case of Chief Chanje of Eastern Province, he says they are getting they increase the number of beneficiaries and reduce the number of packs. Now let's talk about how this has been handled in terms of because this is the rainy season and farmers have to plant and make sure that if we are to boast of having a good yield in the 2022-2023 farming season.
Sad. It's shocking. You are the one that is itemizing these facts. What is important for a Zambian citizen, that's what is cardinal now, is to shift our attention away from the so-called government Okay, understand me very clearly. This so-called government, because this is what is misleading people and confusing the little minds. It's called government. No, governance in Africa, Zambia in particular, is one man called Hakainde Hichilema, and he must be made to answer. Period. He appoints the Minister of Agriculture, he appoints whoever it is, and he knows whatever is happening, and he decides to keep quiet. A lot of things have been happening in the Republic of Zambia. He doesn't want to talk about them. So Zambians must begin to think, no, ni masebo, no, ni vaniabo, no, te masebo yo, ni Hakainde. So if people are receiving 4 bags, 3 bags, I've got recording here if you want, I can play it on my phone. Complaining on the ground. I've mentioned it to you. I was on one of the international channel a few days ago talking about the same issue. Who doesn't know that we are poor in Zambia and subsistence farming is central to food security in the Republic of Zambia? And that's what we need to do. So then if you don't deliver fertilizer on time, you give them 3, 4, 5 bags of fertilizer, what are you saying? Suffer more. We kill you so that the next 2026 when it comes, when you're poor, we'll come and give you, no, vote for us again, we give them a few monies here and there, what Zambians are running with their rags. Shame. So you have to start thinking yourself as a voter, as a Zambian citizen, we are here to talk for you. If you don't see it, that's the only problem. It's not me. I think me, I've got my own life to live. For information, I am well-vested individual. I've got a background of accounts. I'm an accountant here. I can live my own life. But the sad part of it all is that you have people that you speak to. As a nation, they pretend not to hear and listen to what is truthful. So at the end of the day, you try now. Let's try Hakainde Hichilema. You are in it. Tabalati. So the issue here is that God gave an opportunity, but you want to learn something out of this man, called Hakainde Hichilema. So you will not have that fertilizer. The end result is you produce 0 bags of maize. Then you will not have the meal in your house. What happens? People start begging. So they can go and know we are a government, deliver whatever, they can take their relief food. They have no option. Look at them as individuals. Look at Hakainde's life. Look at his ministers, members of parliament. How much they've gobbled so far since they took offices. So much money. A lot of opportunities. But a common man, woman down there, it's all kulila every now and again. Because it's called government, you're supposed to be voting. No, it's not correct. So a Zambian citizen, a youth out there, you must begin to question yourself. God gave you a limited time of life. It might be 30 years or 40 years, 50 years. What happens if they're eating your ears? You want to go and eat, enjoy your life in your grave 6 feet down underground? The answer is no. So when we give responsibility, people give you food, and that is the governance. They must do it. Why can they not eat themselves as parents, called the ministers, president, we name them, and then give for the people of Zambia? They wouldn't do it because they're greedy and selfish, self-centered. They want to eat Zambians to suffer. So, Bwana, there's the food, whatever they're calling it, process of distributing the farm inputs, fertilizer and seed, is poorly handled. This is November, getting into December. January will be here, the rains are gone. What happens? Are you telling me that these things are not obvious in the ears of Hakainde Hichilema? He's in Egypt. Next you go somewhere else. Does he care? He doesn't. So now, begin to care yourself as a Zambian citizen. You the father, you the daughter, you the son, a woman, begin to think, I'm here. Not because of anything else. I was on the ballot paper. You know, I was showing the media, say, this is an unbearable on corruption. What happens the following morning, one of the journalists talking, made fun out of it. Now they are seeing the reality of it. Oh, check around what's happening. Money which was, you know, there's a lot also which they don't even know. That's why probably you can't even see money in circulation. So you have all sorts of struggles. At the end of the day, so-called government, people team up to form so-called government to go and steal from the public offices. And that's what has been happening. You will see when Hakainde Hichilema is out of office. There's so much debt going on, which you and I don't even know. That's the Africa of God. But time is coming because this must come to an end. I'm the president who will fix the whole situation and ensure that Zambians live their better lives.
Now, let's also now come to other matters, Mr. Tonga, pertaining to politics.
Yes.
I wonder, the UPND administration claims they have created a conducive environment for you as political parties. Do you think the rule of law has been restored as claimed by the UPND administration?
No, there hasn't been any rule of law.
Why do you say so?
Simple. I will give a very obvious example which everyone is aware about. Mm-hmm. First of all, there isn't a conducive environment. I've explained already that we are not given room and space to be heard by Zambian citizens. And one of the platforms I've emphasized is public media. They must open it up. Let them try and give me 2-3 appearances on ZNBC. Zambia ikapireuka, omushiri wa Zambia ukapireuka. So there hasn't been conducive environment. He wants to hold on to power, grip power. You're talking about, what did you say, the other thing?
We were talking about the rule of law.
On the core belt. Issues are in the courts of law. Hakainde tells you, what come what may, we are going ahead with elections. They went ahead. We spoke. Did they listen? Nothing. Will I do such a thing? You have an issue in the courts of law. We're not talking about this issue because maybe it was centering another group of individuals called PF. No. But because we can only run a nation called Zambia or any other nation on earth using the law, not people's minds. They pushed their way, and you saw it, what happened on the core belt. People almost avoided going and cast their votes. So Hakainde S. Hichilema is not applying the law of the land. You've noticed, seen, that people have been detained beyond 48 hours. Haven't you? And he has produced those words in his own mouth that you'll be arrested within 48 hours, must be let go. I don't want to mention names here. It doesn't matter where they're coming from. At the end of the day, these are Zambians. I said it. If the law says, pick Mr. Tonga, within 48 hours, let him be given chance to go and be heard outside the walls or cells. Do it. If you don't do it, you are against the law. So then what do? The best is to go back to the words of Hakainde S. Hichilema, who is governing the Republic of Zambia. Bwana, you told us this. You're doing the opposite. That can only be done when time comes. When he existed, though. For now, he's a god, some kind of a king that we have to all bow down. When you speak, who's going to listen to you? They'll hear here and there what, but they'll still push their own luck. So they are not respecting the law of the land. Basic. Before coming, when you had the young girls where they were rescued, you remember?
The abductions.
Yes, those 13, Pamela and the team. When they were rescued, I and my team went to the police reporting Kajova so that he is arrested for not telling the people of Zambia the truth. Because we all heard that it was neighbors who helped those girls be rescued. The following morning, we hear the police threatening the citizens. You understand? The police giving a statement totally away from what we were told on the ground. We were watching it live. So we went to the police and said, no, we want Kajova. Is Kajova, is it? Ilemi Kajova, yes, who is the IG of the police, must be taken to court. We want to open the docket for him. He goes and answer who is telling us the truth, the citizen on the ground or the police. The police, they mistreated Mr. Tonga. Grabbed my phone. You cannot run this. You know, the police at MS, they said, no, we can't allow here. I said, but I've come to report a citizen. The end result was, no, we cannot open a docket here. Why? Is Kajova special? No, you have to go to Central Police. Well, I had to go to Central Police. Central Police had their own language, their languages, whatever it is. We came back. What am I saying here? There are others who are sacred cows, people who are special human beings within the same law. But any other citizen can be reported. Because Ilemi Kajova, who is reported to Hakainde S. Hichilema, that is wrong. So Hakainde S. Hichilema is not following the law. Additionally, when he formed government, immediately formed government, he created a ministry against the law and he went ahead to swear in ministers. I went to parliament, pushed for a petition to have Hakainde S. Hichilema impeached. What did the parliament do? They threw that thing away. So there is no law. You go and break the law with impunity. The law says you cannot swear in a minister until the parliament approves the ministry. That's what Hakainde Hichilema did. Have you seen anything? Any punishment on Hakainde S. Hichilema? Nothing. Apanga chechongo in parliament.
Now, as we come towards our 9 minutes of our conversation, Mr. Tonga, I want to also pick on your thought on the issues that have re-emerged pertaining to cadarism. What is your take on that, especially in the political fraternity? Issues pertaining to cadres in markets and bus stations resurfacing. What is your take on that?
There's poverty in Zambia. People are poor. So you want them to do what? Eat what? You come up with a pronouncement that the farmer cadres. Those people were surviving. So you want them to go where? People are surviving hand to mouth. Patrick Soko. Hand, you know what that simply means? Hand to mouth. As I've said, you have got 15-20%. Zambians probably, and that maybe also foreigners with money. Think of a day that we closed the borders, or think of a day that anything funny happened. I'm not wishing for that. Anything funny happened. Look at what's happened in Ukraine. How many will survive? How many Zambians will survive for the following day? They cannot go out and look for food, whatever. They can't even stock any food. How many Zambians will survive? That's the Zambia of God. And then you have a president. No, we are managing the Republic of Zambia. What are you managing? Poverty. So those individuals called cadres, they made the pronouncements. They don't want cadres. What have they done for them as individuals? What have they done? Because any well-meaning leader should have said, whatever you were doing, not even Mairo, immediately give them means on how to survive. There and then. Not Mairo, no, there's nothing, no discussions. Because they have got to survive. You're talking about junkies. I mentioned it. It's poverty. You mentioned another thing, that the political environment is conducive. Who has in the code to consult on how to manage the Republic of Zambia? Nobody. Who has he consulted? We were 16 presidential candidates in the public, seeking public office. He thinks that all those 16 candidates were foolish. To stand for the presidency, he is there not because he was the best. No, he was just on the ballot several times. I was the best. So now any well-meaning leader should have said, okay guys, come all of you 15 or 16 of you. Let's talk, how do we manage the Republic of Zambia? That's how a father behaves. But it's very unique. It's them and the UPND. Bazagwa kuipa. Terribly so. Bazagwa kuipa. Because of that greed and selfishness. They think that they're so special. Where they even thrown God out, close the Ministry of Religious Affairs, run a republic called a Christian nation. That's not the way it goes. So what am I saying here is that you have a team of individuals who think they're so unique and special beyond God's thinking. But you can see what's happening in the public. So many dirty things are happening. I don't mention them. Accidents. Funny things are happening in the Republic of Zambia. Moral degradation. It's happening right in the face of our kind of. So the issue of cadres, Bwana, you must provide means for them to survive, as in these are the Zambian cities. You want by because you are not arresting those politicians who have stolen billion kwachas and you have no medicine in hospitals because money has been stolen. You don't want to fight corruption, there's no medicine, people go to hospital, there's no money there in the hospitals. So then you want a cadre to do what? A Zambian citizen born here, Zimbabwe. So provide, that's why you're there as a leader. But they're busy drawing salaries every month called the allowances amidst poverty. It's crime against the people of Zambia. Hey, brother.
As we come towards the end of our discussion, Mr. Tonga, I want to get your concluding remarks.
It centers the people of Zambia. You, me, that one out there. That's what is important. Change your thinking. We cannot continue living like this. God gave us land that is very rich. We must change the thinking. Yes, if it means demanding for Hakainde SHM resigning today, we must do it. He must be told right in his face, Bwana Mwakangiwa, I'm sorry, so-called the community house. It's not even state house. That's why I said he's the target. I'm not saying rise against him, but he must be told, Bwana, you failed, because poverty is there. So it is you, me, yourself, all of us. When we are speaking like this, begin to think, we're not talking because it's political. Don't you see what has happened on the ground? Additionally, you have so-called PF greed also a few individuals, so they're teaming up. No, we are running to they can't think of anything else. Look at those names who applied for so-called for the presidency. What are they going to do? What do you find out of those individuals? Mention them. Nothing. So, a Zambian citizen, a youth, makamaka, mwewa che, emukwete destiny, they're not supposed to hold you your future. If it means driving Benz, drive it today. Go ahead because you can manage that. You understand? Because you cannot do anything else now. If you because you're in poverty. So in short, we must begin to think of how best you can support the third liberation. Because this is the only way Zambians will see the truth that God is about to bring in the Republic of Zambia, my brother.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tonga, for making your presence on a Cabinet television. We value your support and you are honoring our invitation. We hope you will do the same next time we call on you.
You're welcome, my brother. We are so grateful. Centers our heart. May God bless you. Once again, continue building for the great good of the Republic of Zambia. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Well, our dear viewers, we've come to the end of our program for today. And as usual, we ask the question and you make the verdict. This has been Patrick Soko, and my guest has been ENOCH Tonga, Third Liberation Movement President. Our topic of discussion was is Zambia on the right path to economic recovery? You can still go back on our Facebook page in case you missed the program to watch and as well as get informed on what we were discussing as of today. Until next week when we come with another interesting episode of The People's Verdict, this has been Patrick Soko. Keep it on Camnet TV. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.